Hello, everybody, and this is your first occurrence of the podcast GGs. I am Pac-Man 630, 1/4 of the podcast.
What's up, y'all? I'm Cup of Noodle. Hope everybody's well.
Hi, I'm Dehydration or B. Hope y'all having a great day.
What's up, y'all? It's me, Pride. Zero if you're nasty. We in here.
And that's all fourths of us. We are the gays and the gals.
But we ain't telling which one is which.
I'm a gal.
That's our
I'm
secret.
actively a gal.
Now, I'm not too spoiling the secret. Now,
We start
Victoria's
mixing your
gonna
thing off
help
with
us.
confusion.
Yeah. So, why are we here, though, y'all?
We're here by chance. The way we laughed about this, and it was always said, y'all should do a podcast. So here we are, where we're attempting it. This is episode, hopefully one of many.
Yeah, this is true. One of many.
We actually
Ah.
told Pride to plan this, and then it took that offset it by like 5 months. But we're here though now.
That's
You
crazy.
know,
Yeah, it
That's
really
It
did.
didn't take 5 months.
It
That's
did.
crazy.
It really
But,
did.
when Pride, when you finally did it, it really was there. There was an effort. It was
That's
concerted, and it was a great time. And now we're here.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that. Because it's
In
a
Pride's
period I
defense,
get.
that was a lot of weight on the
I
shoulder
get-
just out of nowhere.
Thank you. And I get nothing but backhanded compliments, so I'll take that. But
We literally asked him to make a meeting.
that's I had the Zoom call ready. It was fine. It's whatever. But let's talk about what's going on in our weeks though. How about that? Because I've been through a real traumatic experience lately. Y'all, we in the middle of a panorama, if you will, and stuff just starts to happen. So I unfortunately cannot work from home. I have to go into an actual building to work that is kind of has to do with like retail and sales. So it's a breeding ground for the vid, if you will. So I started feeling under the weather. Then one morning I woke up, I was all phlegmy, I was congested, I couldn't breathe, my deviated septum was deviating, I was feverish. I was like, damn, I didn't got the vid. This don't make no sense. So then I had to go through all these jumps and hoops at my job to get the time off with pay, mind you, with pay, to go get tested. And then I had to self quarantine while I was waiting on my results. And then the thing about it with me is like I'm young-ish, so I know like I'll more than likely bounce back, but I am around elderly people, and that made me nervous. So I'm already setting up because my mind, the way my brain works, I assume the worst. So I'm already setting up this hotel. I'm doing all this because I was going to quarantine myself in a hotel for 14 days. That's what I was going to do. So I was setting all this up, and then my test results came back negative, and I was like, "Ooh, thank you, jiddly bobbly Jesus." And so that was my week.
Come
What
on,
about y'all?
Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
I get-
With the test, what kind of test? How does the test work?
They
Was it the
take-
one through
they-
the nose?
Yes, they take
How is that?
They take a swab, and it looks like a pipe cleaner, and they just go in your nose, and they it's not painful, but it's uncomfortable. Like it makes you look
Okay.
teary-eyed, but it's not painful.
I know I saw a singular video and old girl looked like she was about to kill over and
Nah,
die.
it's-
And that's
it's
why I
really
was
not-
like, oh, that
it's
looks
not-
like a lot.
It makes you feel like you have to sneeze, but you don't. So it's that weird pressure in your
Oh,
mouth.
it's just tickling your brain a little bit.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
all right, I
Not
got
your
it.
brain, Kason. It's not your brain, but they used to
It
push
is
it up a
not your
lot.
brain.
Anytime you put something in your nose, I'm convinced it's going straight
That
to your.
that is
Does
not how
it
that
actually
works.
touch your brain?
No,
No,
it doesn't.
tickle it a
No,
little
it does
bit.
not.
Your
No, it
brain is
doesn't.
not connected to your nasal
It
It
cavity.
does.
really is not.
It tickles your frontal lobe. Like who?
No,
that-
it's
It
not.
really does not. It really
It's like
doesn't.
my forehead is right there.
and it tickles. Just a little bit.
But when
not
COVID first
sure.
came out, the test actually was it went up the nose, further up the nose, and I think they punched somebody in the sinus with the Q-tip, and then they
that makes sense,
sued, and then they were
Mhm.
like, "Oh, let's bring this down a lot."
They was touching the
You
mandibular
punch my
oblongata.
synesis, I'm tripping too.
Not just
That's all.
sneezes. I mean, it was valid. I mean, it was very
Yeah.
valid.
'Cause
Or
the
how
way
are you
my
feeling
nose-
now?
The way my septum be deviating, I can't afford another nose injury. I'm not gonna make it.
I heard that.
You
With
got a
everything
first
going
one?
on,
The deviated septum.
that's
Like,
that's an injury in itself.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
Like you hurt yourself?
Right,
No,
should
it
be.
just
Right,
happened.
can't you with insurance get that taken care of? It would be
I
like
can.
rhinoplasty.
Yes, it's very much rhinoplasty. So they're gonna like reshape my nose completely. I'm just deciding on what shape I want, and then I'll be
Not you yelling new year, new you. What
Yeah.
Pride, you run up on me looking like handsome Squidward. I'm done.
Like,
I'm
what
telling
is
you
that?
now.
My nose gonna really be nosing.
You knows who this. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing this with you. You just
Yeah.
know he gonna be a little more bougie than he already
He really is.
I got the
Why
He
am
gonna
I
be
the
tilting his head,
bougie
nothing
one?
but profile now. Like,
He
look
really
at
is.
this,
Got
this
that
perfect
feet.
nose bridge. All right.
But Pride, didn't you say you want a Korean nose?
I did. I am a fan of the Korean nose shape, so that's where I'm leaning. You know.
Well, speaking of the Korean nose, news was in on my story of the week that the IZ*ONE, the superstar, collected 12 group member.
Oh, you did that.
One of the members will be leaving. They were set to disband in the middle of this year, but I think the disbandment is now further on the horizon, if you will, being that one of their superstar Japanese members is now leaving. So I've been very depressed about that. I've had a lot of sleepless nights. It's been a very hard time for me in this climate. They really got me through so much. But
My eyes were running you this rag.
Not keeping you up at night.
it really kept me up at
Just
night
living rent free.
Which one?
in my head.
Was it Nako or like Hattori?
Sakura.
Not Hitori.
I don't
It was
know.
Sakura.
Tommy? That's,
Yeah,
ain't that what
Hitomi.
they name?
Yeah. mhm.
Yeah, see?
Well, IZ*ONE, if you don't know, IZ*ONE is the 12-member group that consists of Chaeyoung, Chaewon,
no.
Nako Hitami, Umnubi, Yuri.
The
you
way
know?
these groups have 70 members in them, we not gonna go down that yearbook
This one,
names.
this one has 12. Yeah, so you're right. But that's what's been keeping me up at night. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get past it, but as long as I have the
I
memories.
feel like you will. There'll be another group tomorrow. I'm
No, there
putting this
won't.
on the record now
no,
and
there
today.
won't. No, there won't.
K-pop is gonna come up a lot, and you're gonna hear me say nothing most of the time because that ain't never gonna change.
Because
I
Keisha likes
know-
to turn around. She does like to
She
turn
do.
around.
Even if I wasn't turning around, K-pop, it's not no disrespect. It's not mine. It's not my jam. This
Did
is a
you
y'all
try
thing.
Dreamcatcher? Like, did you not like Dreamcatcher?
I played Dreamcatcher for her, and she said, "Oh, do you think this is turn around? This is so poppy." I was like,
Wow.
By default, I like rock music. Well, I like all music, but rock is my main. So they're just gonna equate me to the person that just turns around and die. I'm not allowed to be layered like an onion. I'm
You
just
are
it's all
layered.
rock all the time, and that's fine. Nary a hip hop, nary a
Turn
contemporary.
around and die
I mean,
young.
it's fine. As soon as you like rock, y'all, that's it. For the rest
But
of your life,
you say
turning
hip
around
hop.
and dying.
Like the only hip hop you rap is West Coast rap. That's the only one that you rap. That's
Lies.
it.
One of my favorite rappers is Pharoah Monch. Don't do this. I am a lyricist fan.
Who the
Don't
fuck
do
is
me. No Talib, no Big
They
L,
did that.
Lupe, none of them.
I thought that was a part of a different
Okay, let
word.
me
I'm
take
like,
this
was
back.
that artist?
Let me go into more mainstream. Let me just say Jay-Z so everyone will relax.
You don't even like Jay-Z.
Exactly. He's not in my top 10 and you can't make me.
Okay,
You
so
know?
would you like to tell the people a little history of you turning around?
No, not.
How did it start? When did you learn that you wanted to turn around?
I've been okay. I started secretly turning around in elementary school. I didn't know how cool it was. It was like a secret thing, you know. That's when MTV was thriving. So you have your little music videos, you know, your little Chili Peppers sliding in here and there, your Nirvanas, you know, your Bush and your little grunge movement. So I liked it, but I didn't love it. And then come about middle school, Third Eye Blind was a moment. Come on,
Ooh.
Jumper. Come on, you know, that was a moment. And before you knew it,
Jumper.
Jumper was a bop. I
It
like
really
Third Eye
was.
Blind. They do not get enough credit. They were a big deal. And then out of nowhere, I just slowly kind of started getting into it. But it wasn't until I ended up going to private school. And then, you know, there was only a handful of chips in the hoy that it was
Yeah.
kind of like, you know,
Oh, you
Yeah.
did that.
You know.
Oh, you did that.
out of, you know, I took guitar. And then before you knew it, all my friends, it was like, oh, not us turning around and dying. Come on, MXPX. And then after that, it's just, I just been listening
You've
to
been
rock.
rotating ever since.
Yeah, she's been turning around, been twirling.
It was the chips in the Hoy for me.
It really was that for me as well. It really was.
You know what I meant, though.
Yeah,
You know what I meant, though.
Yeah.
That's it.
you did that. Things
All
you
of
did.
that. That's what we
Yeah.
used to call it back in the day, and I'll do it again. If Pride could tell me about his deviated septum, I can say that. I listen.
You know his nostrils be closing. You know he can't
coming off the
breathe.
hook telling me that your K-pop band is keeping you up at night.
Wow, okay, so don't act like your little games don't be keeping you up at night, ma'am. Let's not do that.
Now, Philip, you should understand as a man with
Probably food a
principles
lot.
why these games keep me up at night. Because I mean, the way you got ran ragged during
Now,
that
but
12
you should
hours,
understand as a,
that's
a
what-
woman of rock why if Dance Gavin Dance were to disband, despite them being an amazing group, why it would affect
Oh,
you.
it would,
But they
it
old
hurt
as
my
hell.
feelings.
They should.
They really
Think
should.
about
They should hang it
They-
up.
It's
they really
necessarily younger. Glassjaw older. You can do my favor band because they definitely got to be in they gotta be in their 40s. But that ain't the point.
Okay, so when they come out with that last album, I won't hear nothing because you're gonna be like, oh no, what about my
thing is,
Glassjaw
Grace
content?
when it comes to rock, unlike, I'm not saying you can't rap because I feel like it's kind of ageless. With rock, you could keep going. Like Chili Peppers are chilling and they gotta be 102.
Yeah.
See, but I
No.
feel like with American music, you age out of making good music, so then you hang it up. Versus in K-pop, you hit that age, they're like, wrap it up.
My knees
Hit
are
that
hurting.
7-year
What
contract,
was the
wrap
group
it
you
up.
told me, and y'all told me one of them was like 40, but I had to guess which one. What group was that?
Oh, that was the refund. We don't need to start that off. That was the Refund Sisters. That's not how we started this
Oh my
K-pop
God.
journey. We're
We-
really
I don't
not
really
doing
talk about
that.
Refund Sisters.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't.
not. We can talk about that in episode 55. That's not for today.
I think when it comes to American music, I think B is right. I think after a while, it gets to the point where it's like, why am I still looking at like Motley Crue and they're on like their 7th front man and they're 90. It's different, but I mean, Temptations is still performing and we all know ain't nobody left in that group but Otis. So
Now, I know this happens sometimes, but how do we feel about groups that keep the same name, but then they start shifting out people? Do you think they should go just completely hang it up, or are we here for like, there's a Glassjaw revised?
For me, as long as the group has one original member,
the
in
core members
it,
have
it
to be
works.
there.
Yeah, if the
Yeah,
core
whoever
member
is the one
it
leading
works.
the charge, like
Mhm.
you have to be a damn good drummer for people to remember you, like a Chad Smith, Chili Peppers. You got to be great at what you do. And if we know you, it would be weird to replace you. So if you you in the band, but we don't know you, you're easily replaced. But you can't just drop a front man and act like, and if you do, it has to be pretty good. Dance Gavin Dance has had 3 different frontmen. So, you just got to be good at what you do.
That's true.
But I feel like in rock, is it about the people or is it just about the music that they make?
It's about the people. I just learned 3 Days Grace got a new front man, and I was like, wait, what? I
So
was
how is it
livid.
about the people if you didn't even realize they had a new front man?
I had no idea. But once it was pointed out and I listened, I was like, that is a different voice. You just got to be good, I think. I think if you're good, and I think there's a look to it, and if you have that, then you should be okay. The bops got to keep bopping or we got a problem. If the music goes downhill, it's not for the best. Because John left Chili Peppers and new guitars, Chili Peppers just didn't hit the same. I'm saying it. It's not that it wasn't good, but it was like, dude, we miss John.
Yeah.
That's something
Rap
I-
groups really don't count because how many rap groups do we really have?
That's true.
Do
Did
you
you
know-
get into your story, or did we just gloss over that because we went on a music tangent?
We
I
really
don't
went
think
on a
I
music
have a
tangent.
story.
B,
I feel like
B definitely still has a story to tell.
Okay.
I do. I was like, I don't think I really did anything this week. My week has been pretty mid. I would say the highlight is my week. I made Maria tacos and it made me really happy. It was very hard to make the meat. This was my first time using a slow cooker and I wasn't aware of how it worked. Could have burned my house down with steam or something. Did not know 100%
How you go bring
what
your
really
house?
went into
Don't
that.
burn
If
your
you
house
set
down with
your house-
steam.
The
If you set
steam.
your house on fire
You
with
just
a
got
slow
over the
cooker,
bathtub
you
falling
earned
through the
that.
ceiling. Wait a
No,
minute.
because technically,
earned it.
wait, what was that show? You know that show that everyone loves, and I remember because every Tuesday, our certain someone would watch it. They would be crying. This Is Us. Someone definitely burned their house down with a slow cooker. I think
No
it really,
way. How do you do that? How does
I
that
think it was an
happen?
electrical short. It was more so an electrical.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that makes sense. That's not the cooker
That-
itself.
yeah,
though.
that's
You
not-
cooking it wrong.
yeah,
That's just
I
exactly.
was scared because they have that little steam thing where like you can open it or close it. And I was like, why
Are
is
you
it
talking
doing
about
that?
an Instapot?
Yeah, it was an
An
Instapot.
Instapot and a slow cooker are 2 different things.
No,
an
but it does
Instapot
slow
is that
cook,
all in one thing. Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
sounds like steam and a slow cooker. What are you doing? But okay, I got it. I see what you're at.
And that was, I think, by far, because I really always try to make new things. That was my most involved new thing. I was like, I had to get into beefs and
Oh,
cuts
also,
of beef.
Asking for a friend. What is a burrito taco?
Yeah, me too.
So I'm not going to give the definition because I'm not 100% sure what that exactly is.
That's valid.
But from my understanding, I believe it's the process of when you slow cook the meat that you're using for the taco, as well as when you go to configure the taco. When you fry it on a grill, you dip the taco in the meat stew so that it has that flavor on the outside as well as it's cooking in that
Oh,
flavor.
I know exactly. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So
I guess.
I think I get the process.
Yeah, like
I think
can
it was
see
just
in my
hearing
head,
the
but
excitement of getting it
yeah.
done for the first time. It looked good. I will co-sign
Let's
from what
note
I
that B was also slaving in this kitchen. I did not see B until the smoothest 5 p.m. her time.
yes, it's because the longest part of the process is literally making sure the meat. And I bought chilies from the internet, so that was a thing that you
Internet
had to get
chilies.
into.
Not you.
Not
Yes,
you being, not
Oh,
you.
you
being
did that.
You
I did
went in.
internet chilies. I was really excited to do it. Technically, I also bought some other chilies that I apparently could have went to the international aisle to find, but I was excited and happy to be there to have it. So I got into that also. I also had to get Mexican oregano, which I was like, I didn't know they're
I
different.
didn't know that was a
I
thing.
didn't know
It's
either.
a thing. It smells very pungent. It's very present. So it
I've
was a
never
lot.
got food on the internet.
Me
Now, B
neither.
once sent me soda, but I've never purchased
Oh,
food on the internet.
I buy food on the internet all the time.
Is there reliable
When-
food
when
like
Eric-
sources?
When Parasite came out and they made that little bougie ass top ramen where they used the 2 different flavors, then they used the ribeye steak. I had to order the top ramen from Japan because it was 2 flavors we didn't have, and you have to order the 2 specific types. I did that. Then one time I wanted boba really bad, but I didn't have any, so I had to order tapioca online and then figure out how to make tapioca pearls. That was a whole thing.
What you
And,
mean?
How did that turn out?
They turned out pretty well.
I didn't hear you ever talk about you making your own tapioca pearls.
Yeah, this was a while ago. A while ago. This is like right when I got into like milk tea. When I discovered milk tea, I discovered like the part of me that wants to open a cafe in Korea somewhere and run it.
Ah.
Yeah. That's I got really into it, and I was like, wait, I
But
can
you
make
know,
art.
I feel like
You
it's
know?
different when you buy food that's like not made. Like for example, instant ramen or noodles versus like buying chilies where it's like, oh, I could really just take this out and pop this in my mouth. Is it like I don't
No,
know.
they were dehydrated, so I had to soak. That was also a thing. I had to soak them to rehydrate
To
them.
rehydrate them, yeah.
then
And
Did
did
they
you have
get
to
big
use,
again?
did you have to use the water to make the little thing? Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the recipe. I looked at multiple recipes because usually when I'm gonna cook something new, I look at multiple recipes and then compare and contrast what I'm gonna do, and then if I decide to make it again, modify where I see fit. For this time, I did use some of the juice that I rehydrated the peppers in.
They don't
But
get bigger cases; they just get mushy.
yeah, no,
And
they
I
weren't
was-
even really mushy.
See,
But-
I wanted to like just absorb like a sponge in my mind.
Now,
Yeah, the thing was, well, after I soaked them, I had to de-seed them, and there was like 100 freaking seeds in those damn things, which is crazy. Because I wasn't about to burn my mouth on this food, and neither was my family. I was not going to be held liable for that. So that, and then certain people said they used the juice of the pepper, and certain people said they didn't because it has a bitter taste, and I see that. And I think if I were to make it again, I wouldn't use the juice because it was quite bitter.
I see. Understand.
But I feel like that was my story of the week, and I think we finally got that out the way. I feel like we could get into what's happening in our climate, which is all of the Love Day stuff.
Love Day.
What's love?
What is that? Now,
Why?
you knew this was gonna.
I knew once we start kissing,
Ooh.
I found you.
How did that? Okay. All right. Let's back to what we were doing. What are we getting into? The love stuff? Oh,
Valentine's Day is very much on
yeah.
the horizon.
When is
Day.
Valentine's Day? The 12th?
The 14th?
14th?
The
Oh.
14th.
You
Yeah.
did?
At the 13th, I am.
Now
I'm so sorry.
Wait,
it's on the same day
Are y'all
every
okay?
year. It's always
y'all
on the
okay?
14th.
are y'all sure?
Yes.
You sure they ain't change it?
I'm pretty.
Because
I-
leave
I-
it, right?
I could have
For one,
sworn.
Jason, why would it be on the 13th when that has a possibility to be on a Friday the 13th? Why would they ever coordinate those two things? Would you ever known that to be a
Because
thing?
love ain't real unless you're getting shanked, all right? That's how that works.
Oh, wow.
You.
I like
You want that
moving,
roughneck
moving
kind
right
of
on,
love.
moving right on, moving right
You want
on,
that roughneck kind of love.
moving right on. Yeah.
That's a topic when we get more comfortable. We can get into
Yeah.
that.
My birthday is a week after Valentine's Day, so that's how I remember. In 7
Well, that's
days,
the only reason you know what equates to you.
I've never been in love.
You know, I don't
Can
think
somebody define love? Does anyone want to take a gander
I don't
at
think
what is
anybody
love?
can define love. I
think
think
I
everyone's
don't
love
think
is
it's
different.
definable.
for me,
I
I
don't
think
think it
everyone
is.
has their own definitions of love. And for
Agreed.
me personally, I feel like being in love is when you're completely 100% content with that person. That's the only way I
Content?
think. Yes,
Con-
content.
Just content?
Yes,
Right.
that when that person when
See,
that
I don't
person
like the word
satisfies you-
content.
Content. Yeah, I don't like
It
that
feels
word
like I'm
either.
here,
Well,
but
it's
it's
because
whatever.
you guys took content as a negative connotation. That's not what I meant. The
That's
definition
that.
of content, it means when someone is satisfied, when someone is complete.
Not you
When
can
that
I
just
think
person
I get what
satisfied-
Pride is saying.
when a
So,
person's satisfied, when a
no,
person
I think I get what
satisfies
Pride is
you
saying.
or
I think when
completes
you say
you or-
content, you mean
yes.
you made a choice and this is the
Yes,
choice you made
exactly.
and you're good with the choice. And
Exactly.
you don't have any reservations about it.
Exactly.
And that's what I was going to say. I feel like it is. It's like you get a choice, and I'm not here because I have to be. I'm with
I'm
you
here because I
wanna be
want
with
to
you.
be.
And
Exactly.
I don't have any, I feel like
Yeah.
that's why young love is tough for me because I feel like you haven't lived enough to know if this is where you want to
Mhm.
be. Because there's a lot that comes into it, you change. No one's the same person. But if you're willing and when you wake up and you see this person and you're like, yeah, this is where I want to be. That's
Woo.
love.
Because woo child, love is work.
Who it is.
Woo child.
People be evolving. You got to go through them
Changing.
evolutions with them, and you better hope you
And
like
then
who they become.
when you peel back them layers and you get to like, ooh, I ain't see this layer before, and then that layer
You know, in
jumps
the
out.
weird parts of the
you're like,
house and the attic and the
It's
basement, and
really
you
the
see
first
things.
layer, I guess. Because y'all know that's a show. It's like who the bleep did I marry? Where they'd be like, oh, we were in this great relationship. And then like 15 years later, when they're married and they have kids and everything, the police ring to come to the door like, oh, he's been murdering people. Like, sis, like, like hard to tell you. He's in the jail for murder. Like, how do you go from there?
Like, it's just, I mean, I can't compare anything to that. All I know is like, I was young once, I've experienced what I thought was love. I've experienced
Agreed.
and I've experienced what I've known to be love.
When you go back and you
So,
think
like,
about it and say,
It is
the
not.
hell
It
was I
isn't
doing?
love. It really
Yeah.
isn't.
Like now, what possessed you?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like, ooh, you was doing a lot, breaking this man's car. You did a lot. You didn't have to. Yeah, but you was in love, quote unquote.
Quote unquote love. Oh, I have a question, and this might sound kind of out there or maybe not correct, but I think love is definable about what you're willing to do for the other person. Not saying like, oh, like I'm telling you to go hit somebody with my car, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go do it. It's just like, what are you willing to do for the other person? Because I believe love is in relationships about like sacrifices and compromise. So I feel like love is not. It's emotional. It's 100% emotional, but I also feel like it's action based. Like, does this person like you, love you, appreciate you enough to be able to do action things?
To me, but at the same time, I found it's hard to quantify someone's love for you based on their action. Like, yes, treating you bad obviously is, a factor, but you can't say because I would do this and you won't do this, that means you don't love me. You get what I'm saying?
It also just depends on how you look at love as a series of transactions of give and take. And if it's reciprocal, then I think love just has many elements to where you would say, oh, this is love. But I feel like even in a different sense, like versus the physical thing of like, oh, this is love versus I love you. You know? How the words can mean something, but in the grand scheme, I don't know. It's weird.
Definitely a
Like,
level
love
of
is weird.
loyalty. And I do think sometimes it's in what they may not do out of respect for you or for respect for you. I mean, loyalties are weird because you could be mad at a person for not doing something for you, but if they care about you enough, if it's not in my best interest, if you really love me, I expect you to tell me to sit my simple ass down.
Exactly.
You doing it because you're loyal, but what we're doing is wrong. When I was younger, I used to yell things like, well, they like me for me. But then, as I slowly got older, I remember my mom told me, but what if you ain't shit? And I'm like, that's a good point. Like, you like me for me, but if me ain't that good, then you gotta, And so when it came to really looking at it a little deeper, it's kind of like, I want it to be better just because I wanted to be with you, and it's not saying I was bad, but it's like, I want to make sure I keep my end of the bargain so we're good. I don't ever want you to lose because of me. I want to make sure that I'm better to make sure that we can, stand hand in hand in this and grow together. There isn't really like a one's here and another's up here. It's like, no, I want us we're walking through life together. Like for me, with my husband, for those who I am married, um, it's my life partner. It's my partner in crime. It's the person I wake up and say I want to do everything with. And if he's not there, something ain't right, damn it. And I know at this point I can never talk to anyone else. We've just done too much. It'd just be boring. I ain't doing this shit again.
That's
Don't
crazy.
tell him I said this.
Ah.
Not,
You
not,
know,
that kind of was
way,
like,
like,
you know, we didn't done too much together. I'm not starting
we've
over.
done
You
it
stuck
all.
with
And it's
me.
like, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
Like,
You stuck
I
with
will
me.
never have that bond with anyone
love
else in my
that.
life. And I
I
know
love
that.
that, and I hate that at the same time. You
Oh,
know?
no, we're stuck with each other. He already said, you know, even if we don't make it, I'm going to be ringing your doorbell. Like, what you doing? Like, now. But it's like, I don't know. That's my partner. It's more than just saying, oh, that's my husband. And I guess all relationships are different, but it's like, he's a part of my life. Like, that's my best friend. It's weird. If I'm doing something and he ain't here, it don't make no sense. At the end of the day, when my day is said and done, that's who I want to talk to and break down my day. Like, what'd you do today? Shit, what you do today? If I'm doing something stupid, he right there with me. Unless it's real stupid. He
Like
gonna say,
y'all
"Go
getting kicked out of the post office, or y'all getting
oh,
kicked
he
out
just
of
sit there and watch me do it. Then he's with me later. Like, now you know damn well. Like, I know, but he knows who I am, and I know who he is. And
you
at
know
this
who
point,
you are.
I think after a while, though, I think you know who your partner is, and I don't even. He is who he is, and it's not even a matter of changing. I think if you're hoping for someone to change, your relationship gonna suck because you always gonna be mad.
That's the main thing.
Agreed.
Do not go to the altar to alter them.
Exactly. Like, you know what you're getting. For the most part,
Yeah.
you know if who crazy, you know who chill. I know how he'll respond to things. He knows how I respond to things. I think you know. And I think that's why couples can cuss each other out real good because I know how to get on your nerves because I know you know, and vice versa. But it's a matter of at the end of the day, despite everything that goes on, who you
Mhm.
gonna be sitting down next to when you old
Yeah.
and everything falling off and sagging? Who you want to be sitting next to? When
Yeah,
you know who
Boy.
that is,
I feel
and I
that.
think that's love. Like at the end of the day, despite everything else, who do you want to do this with? Because life is not easy as it is. You got to be with someone that you at least enjoy being around. Because if not, life is
Miserable.
made to piss you off. So
Yeah.
it's like, if I got to do this with anyone, who am I doing this with? And
It's all
I can't
about
do anything without him.
it's all about brief moments of happiness. That's all. It's
You got to make your little moments because life ain't giving them to you. You got to find out. You got to learn how to appreciate the little things and take your little wins where you get them.
So
For me, oh, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
you go. Because
Like for me personally, when it comes to relationships, I know that I'm not the best person, and I'm not a relationship person. Let me preface that, and let me also say that I've been working on myself
You better work on
a
yourself.
lot, right? So now I am. For those of you who don't know, I am in a committed relationship. We've been together for about 7 months now, and it's a lot for me personally. And what I mean by that is, I'm always the type of person to not. I don't know how to say this without it sounding like me sounding like an asshole, but I'm
Just
always
say
the type of person to do what I want to do. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm in this space where I have to navigate where all of my decisions always boil down to is how is this going to make him feel? If I do this, how is he going to react? You get what I'm saying? And it's a lot. It's a lot on me, but I know I have to do it because if I don't, we're not going to be together. And that's something I have to work on. And don't get me wrong, he's not perfect either. Like he's a lot in himself. So, but I can only work on me. He has to work on him. You get what I'm saying?
So,
but yeah, that's how it is for me.
So I don't have the most efficient or best experience on love. So I'm gonna throw the question and step back. But for the people that have experienced love, is it like something that hits you all at once, like you're in the rain and you're like, oh wow, I'm really in love? Or is it like a slow progressive type of beat?
It's very much a slow burn. It burns slow. For me, it burns slower than the Korean dramas.
I'll be honest, for me, it just fit. I don't know. It just felt like I've known you forever, and it just
you just
in the way, because when I first met Porter, I didn't even like him. Like when I first met him, didn't even like. I was like, ugh, can't stand this dude. Not gonna lie, he knows I did not like him. And then I think we came back to work on a Monday, and then we just kind of started talking. And then it's like I just always knew him, and he just never disappeared. He was just always there. And then it just felt weird when he wasn't. And now he's still here all like the way I felt about him then and the way I feel about him now really haven't changed, which is weird. It's not like I love him so much more now. It's like, nah, I always loved him. I always cared. I always wanted him to be happy. Once he stopped when I first met him, he was such an ass. And he still very much is.
It's
But
that
it was like-
smile.
Because you know why? Because again, it's the smile. I don't know if girls do it, but guys, if they think they're cute, they do shit and they know what they're doing. And so for me, again, y'all know I'm edgy and y'all call me turn around and die and I rage against the machine. It was just like, who do you think you are? I don't give a damn how cute you are. It was that. Like, oh, he knows. And he be winking and shit. Oh, it was a lot. And he still do smiling for no reason. But at this point, you know.
A mood. I love when I hear relationships that aren't that different from the stuff I go through. Like that, it validates me, and I love that. I love being validated.
I'm gonna be honest. I think when I hear about couples and they try to explain it on some interstellar level, I'm like, shut
Yeah.
your lying
It's
ass up.
really not that deep.
I
Yeah,
really
y'all
don't
are doing a
believe it. I don't
lot.
wanna- I'm a
They
hater.
really acting like
but
the stars align,
yes,
the
it's
planets
like, that's a
align.
lot.
But
Yeah.
wait, it does. The stars.
Such a hater.
They
It's-
kind of do. It's crazy. Like, I'm not one of those people who like live by zodiac, but like I acknowledge it. And sometimes I be seeing stuff like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like, it's one thing if it doesn't fit you, then it don't fit you. You ignore it. You go about your day. But if you start looking at it, they start reading you for filth. You're just like, wow. That's
I feel like everyone has been in a relationship where you're talking to like another couple and everything feels like a one up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we've been together for 2 months or we've been together for 2 months and 3 days and I'm in love. Well, no, we really like each other, but no, we really like each other. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Exactly.
Who are you trying
Why-
to make a believe?
Why is
in
this
you?
the competition? Like, why?
This
I
is
don't get it.
weird.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of that. Like, I don't know. I've
Me
seen a lot of
personally-
couples that are couples, but they're not friends.
I've
And
never- yeah.
that's definitely a thing.
That's
It's
what I
kind
was
of like
gonna say too. Yeah, there's too much of that. I see too much of that. Couples that are couples, but they are not friends whatsoever. They don't hang around together. They don't do
Mm.
anything together. They don't hang around with each other's friends. They don't like each other's friends.
it's like
And
night and
it's a lot.
day.
Yeah,
Just
it's a
you know,
lot.
sort of speak, and they'll be like, "Oh no, they're never this. You know, they never laugh like this at the house." And I'm like, "So the way y'all don't like each other, but
Yeah.
y'all together, but y'all."
See, but I feel like again, that's looking at someone's relationship
Outside.
as superficial.
That's what
like,
I'm saying. I feel like we're missing the pieces of the puzzle. I do think you should be friends, though. I ain't gonna say you got to be best friends because again, that's how. But I do think you should like each other. I think when you're married,
Yes.
or you know, like that's my husband. But it's
You
like, yeah,
should
he's my
enjoy each
husband
other's-
on paper.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's just my life partner. That's just who I'm gonna spend
You
my
should
life
enjoy,
with.
Yeah, you should enjoy each other's company because if you cannot do that, you have nothing. If you really are in a relationship solely for reasons that it's hard, like people get into relationships for the wrong reasons, and then they get stuck in those relationships for the even wronger reasons, right? Like you should never be in a relationship that you don't feel happy in, or you can't truly be yourself in, if that makes sense.
If you're still at a point where you can't just
Yeah.
take your hair off and cut your toenails on the
Exactly.
bed, then we got a problem. I would
Ex-
say them vows are the most real thing that I didn't take seriously until after, because they're real. They check off every box,
They
better
really
or
do.
for worse,
That
richer
sickness
or for
and health.
poorer.
Oh,
That-
not
like
getting
the
a
way they
cold
check
and
off
doing that.
every box, and you're like, oh, I love you so much, and you don't know what's gonna hit you in life, but it's like there's no out, better or for worse. Not him not
Yeah.
coming home, not him cheating,
Yeah, sickness
sickness
or
or in health. Like
not
you
him
know,
getting
we
deathly ill.
we was balling on, you know, and now we balling on a budget. Like they check off every box. And at the time you're like, no, I love you. And then as life starts progressing, you kind of like, oh, this shit is real.
Mhm.
Because you don't know what you're gonna get. It's all fun and games until it's not all fun and games. And now it's kind of like we stuck with each other. What you do after, you know, you have your day and eventually years later, you're kind of like, dude, you're still here. That's a thing. And I know kids can keep it going a little longer because you busy, but eventually they move. And now we just got each other. And it's like, oh shit. It's just you now. You know, kids can keep you blinded, but once they gone, it's like, oh,
I
I'm
can't see the
stuck.
blindfold.
And it's also for that reason, like people who are not happy or in bad marriages feel like having a kid will fix that marriage. I
Keeps
see
you
that way
busy.
too often too.
Yeah, it keeps you busy.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like
Yeah.
as a separate, you know, for you relationship people, for us singles, Philip and I.
Ah.
How do we navigate this current climate, Philip? What are you doing?
I was gonna
in this
ask, what
current
would
club?
you
I really feel like this. I can also chime in here, but go ahead. Y'all got that.
I was gonna ask back in the day, B, you taught me this a long time ago. Didn't y'all have the draft come the holiday? And then
Ah,
Cuddle season drafts.
here we
Yes.
go. Y'all taught me
Yes.
about this. Here we go.
What is that? What is cuddle season?
so
draft?
basically, basically all year is for you to set up in a relationship in a cuddle season. So therefore, by the time you get to winter,
You
you're
have
with
somebody
somebody.
with somebody. And regardless if you make it, you got that
I
somebody through the winter because it's cold. You can't go out. Especially now. Well, now and less because we are in the midst of a
Yes,
a panorama, if you will.
Paramore, yes.
Yep. So but I navigate actually, to be fair, I haven't really been navigating the love scene right now. It's real hot. I live in Arizona where it's real hot out here. But I've been trying to, dabble in a little interaction here or there, and it's been cute thus far. For me, I don't need as much physical touch, especially because it's, again, a pandemic.
Right.
But I have been enjoying talking to people, like having genuine conversations, and I feel like having this distance, it's really easy to see how people look at you or how they're gonna treat you, etc., etc. I feel like you can see things from a different perspective because when you're meeting in person, it hits different. Like you're meeting in person, y'all are all cuddled up, or you're on dates, and you don't see. I feel like you don't see it until later. But now I'm like, oh, you're talking to me for me. Are you actually interested in me? Are you actually interested in what I do? If I say I do this, how are you gonna respond? So that's how I've been dealing with it. Just talking.
So
And then
basically, you're saying that because the prospect of potential sex is taken off the table, you are forming deeper bonds with people you see as potential partners.
Yes, and this is gonna sound real bad, but it's helping me weed out because I'm very much.
That makes perfect sense.
I'm very much at the age right now where not everyone's looking for a relationship, especially as a gay man. Nobody's looking for a relationship right now, and that's what I'm looking for. So I have to see who's in it for actually, like, this is the long haul. Because not that I'm not interested in the sexual aspect of it. It's just I want something more that's going to look beyond the bedroom. Like, oh, are you going to be there for me when I'm up or if I'm down or etc. Or, it's having a bad day or I just turn around. It's like, are you going to be there for me? So
how's he going to be there for you if you just turn around? What's he going to do?
You gotta be able to handle me.
It's not like you would know.
But
He would know.
I'm gonna know from the great.
If he turned around?
Yeah.
How? How's he gonna know?
But you took that too much into. You really read into it, and you weren't even supposed to pick up the book. But as another singlet of this your climate, how are you navigating the love scene?
I'd say for me, like I think I'm at the point where I would want a relationship, but of course we're in a panoramic, and I could really care less because I'm not trying to get the COVIDs. So, in my mind, I've already had my hoe phase, which was my college years, and I really enjoyed that hoe phase. But I'm kind of over that, and I feel like by the time I actually want a relationship, I want to be in a stable place for myself, where I have my own place. I pay my own bills. I want to be self-sufficient and independent.
To add to your life.
Yes.
But you're here because I want you here, not because I need you
here.
Very much. Like my mom pounds that back because she was like, I always had me before I let a man have me, and just need you to know that you're a want, not a need. That's the situation I would like to be in. But I like tippling and tabbling in some little conversations, as Philip said. It may be messy, it may be not in the right direction, but
you did that.
in this climate, I'm very much a person who I dwell on emotions to where I don't always expose that outwardly, but I very much I dwell on old emotions. So if I feel like I had something very good with this one person, tippling and tabbling in that emotion makes me feel good at the time, but it's not anything I want long term. I just like the feeling,
Are you good at letting things go? Like, say you thought it was working and, but it didn't. Okay.
I'm also not good at letting things go. I will dwell and wander.
See,
and
I feel like a bad person
because
when I'm out, I am out. Like the way I can walk past
I can cut it off
down the street, and I don't even have to look twice. When I am good, I am good, and I feel bad about that. But I'm not the most emotional either. Like, I'm emotional in the sense that I'm crazy, so don't try me. But at the same time, I'm not really attach to people very easily. I've always been good with me. So it's kind of like, what?
I
What do
get
you
it.
want?
I can cut it right off like a light
Yes,
switch.
the way I can just be over it.
Yep.
For
Just
I'm
that
very
me,
quick.
good, I think, at cutting people off if I
yes,
don't want that attachment.
yes.
But if I get that attachment with you, like you're in the love phase and then things go left from there, it's kind of hard to let that go. There's definitely people where it's like, oh, we had some good conversation, but then it's
But
like, oh, you irritated me that day, so bye. I'm very much, that's easy for me to do.
yeah,
I'm
But
For me, it's tough because I'm like, what's really tough getting close to people in general because people have size. And so for me, I've always kind of kept my distance because the worst thing you can do is get to know someone and see things that you can't unsee. And I
Mhm.
feel like everyone has things that you can't unsee. Like no one's just chilling and without fault or devoid of it. And I get it. But the problem with dating is the more you get to know them, the more of these signs you see. And depending on what
Mhm.
those signs are, I am instantly out.
instantly out.
I don't know how to. I was never good at saying like, how do you tell someone you did this and I can't unsee it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like because it could be like the smallest thing. Like I don't know. It could just
You left your
something,
sock on the dinner table, and I'm feeling real
yeah,
uncomfortable.
or you just show like a side where it's like, oh, you disloyal as hell, or
For
oh, that was
me,
tacky, or I don't know.
for me, I lean towards the aspect of radical honesty. When it comes to a relationship for me personally, if I cannot be unabashedly honest with you, it's already a red flag for me. So when someone does something I don't like, I'm immediately going to say, "Yo, just so you know, I don't like that." Or that really sat wrong with me because XYZ.
Well,
That's just
okay, I was gonna ask, dating in a social media filled world where you get to see so many sides and so many regretful posts, how you get past that? I just feel like dating in this age has to be insane because
It
everyone's
is.
on every platform and there's just things you can't unsee.
it's hard because as someone who's in that current climate, it's a million, hi, how are you? What do you like? What do you do? And at a certain point, because you've been doing it for so long, you get so used to presenting the same thing where it's just like you're over it. Like, I just want to already know someone. And of course, in person, you would have natural conversations to where when you're texting someone, you feel like you have to go a certain direction because you can't read social cues over the phone.
So
Like
you
you can,
prefer to
but they're
date,
different.
so you prefer to date in person because
I do, but I
way the
also hate
world
doing
portrays
that.
it. I was
I
gonna
hate
say the way
doing
the
that.
world portrays it, no one wants to link up face to face anymore. Everything is just online, and I don't know the rules. Do people still go on dates? Not now. We're in a paramour. I get that, but as a whole, before these times, if someone said, "Hey B, I think you're purty. Do you want to go with me to the Olive Garden?" Would you be like, "Oh, let's go on a date and talk and see if something clicks. If not, it's good." Or are you like, "Oh hell no, let's text each other for a residual 4 months, and then once we get comfortable, now we can go meet up."
To be 100%
mm,
honest, I've never gotten into a relationship from
From
that perspective, from that
yes,
situation. It's always been, oh, we're at a party, we start talking, da 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 da, or this friend recommends
I was gonna
me
say
to
a
this
friend of a
friend.
friend thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's never someone I've been a complete stranger to, if
I'm
that makes sense.
I'm
see,
gonna
see,
say
sorry, Mike, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was gonna say this. For me, if you meet me in person, my standards are 1,000 times lower than if I meet you online. And so, like, because if I meet you in
Hello?
person, if I meet you in person, I get to know you as a person,
Did
compared to
that.
like a screen. Like, I have
That's
my
true,
suspicions
dude.
online. Like, oh, you
Did
could have all this bad. You could be murdering people. You could live in a funky house. Like, not saying whatever, but I just have that emotional connection prior to like the phone. So if we, let's say, online dating, I'm talking to you and then we go out. Once we go out for that first time, that's when I would start building that like emotional connection because I'm seeing you in person. Compared to like if I know you from in person, like it's already there. We already got whatever history from friend or acquaintances or just being random strangers. So it's I feel like it's easier for me to form that connection outside of
I've
online
always felt
dating.
like in person is easier because, like, I've
Hmm.
done things like you just talk on the phone,
Yeah.
but it's something about when you finally see them, it doesn't hit the same. Like, you can
It
really like
doesn't.
someone just talking to them, and I can
Hmm.
have like a whole phone thing, and it's like, oh my god, they're so great, like on the phone, and you just like talking to them that way. And then when you're actually in person with each other, it's like it's not clicking. but I don't know why. And it never really hit the same for me talking to someone, but not actually being with them, as opposed to getting to know someone face to face versus from a distance. It just never translated.
I feel
See,
like it's
for
also. Oh, go ahead, Pride.
I was gonna say, like, for me, like, not to segue off this topic, but when I heard the question, I thought you meant like, how's it like dating dating someone with social media, and you can see like stuff they post and things they do like that. And I was gonna be like, oh, that has a funny that there's a funny story. I have a funny story there, but I'm save it for another time. Go ahead.
That
Another
sounds like
time
a
ain't gonna
story.
happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So long story short, in my current relationship, right? I guess I should also say that he is not an African American man. He's a Hispanic man.
Oh.
So
Oh wow.
when we
Oh
start
wow.
when,
Oh no, I
we
want to see where this goes.
when we first started dating, right? We started really like seriously dating in the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, right? So all of a sudden, when we got together, his social media posts became very BLM centric, right? And it made me feel a type of way because like again, BLM isn't about me, but it is sort of about me because I'm a black man. But it really isn't about me.
What do you
But
mean it's not about
it
you?
made like because it's about the movement. It's not about me my existence as a black person. It's about the black existence as a whole. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so it would become like these posts like, oh, the black man is not good enough to be protected but good enough to be fetishized and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, I proudly support the Black Lives Matter movement. And don't get me wrong, if you want to be an activist, if you want to sojourner truth, Rosa Parks your way to freedom, you have that right, but don't do it at my expense or when it feels like it's at my expense. So, like I said, I'm a radically honest person. So when I saw it, I was like, hey, what is this? He was like, oh, I'm just supporting Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But from my perspective, this seems real performative. Like you're doing this because you want attention or something. Like I don't understand. And that was kind of one of our first like big fights, but we got past it after that. But I just wanted to I just thought that's where that question was going, and that's where my brain went. It was just real interesting.
In that situation, I feel like people who aren't black feel like they need to let people know that, hey, just so you know, I'm not racist. Just clarify.
Exactly,
Like,
and that's
just
very
let
much
people-
what that felt
you don't
like.
have to do like. I mean, like black people can still be prejudiced. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but we don't have that need to perform on social media to let people know, hey, we're not racist. Because even in this current climate, everyone's like, you know what we should love more? Black people. Fuck white people.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Here we go.
it was
Are
a
we
lot.
segueing into this?
No,
'Cause
no,
we-
no, we're not. We're not. 'Cause this is gonna be a whole. We're gonna slide. We're gonna
we
slide.
have here.
We're gonna because this is gonna be.
Hold on,
This
let
is
me
about
segue.
love.
Get back into love.
Uh-huh.
In-
We could cover that on a
We're
different
segueing back to
episode.
love.
Yeah.
In that respect, when you're in a relationship, you feel like you're. I know I'm coming back to it. When you feel like you have to give your personality to the relationship versus you look on social media and they're trying to give their personality to everyone. You know how they say like every person they know a different part of you.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you're trying to see their social media personality versus the personality they give to you may seem different.
Exactly.
Very
much that. Good job bringing that home because
We brought it right on home.
That would have been a lot.
I do
Separate
think
the two, though.
We're not about to go into the race debate at this
How,
point.
how do you separate the two? Because again, I know we all have sides. No one really meets the same you. It really just depends on how you feel in that day and how you feel about whoever you're interacting with.
Yes.
But like, if you really like someone and they're cool when you with them, but then their social media presence is like an entirely different than. I mean,
See,
like
I've never encountered anything like that because I'm honestly not on social media like that. If it wasn't for content creation, I wouldn't have social media, period. So I can't really.
because Valentine's Day is one of the most performative times of the year.
Yeah.
It
So
really is.
what do
It
you do
really
if you
is.
find yourself in a situation where you're not performative for, Hallmark holidays, but your significant is.
Well,
Like, mm,
that gets into the I've dealt with people inside love, outside love, who can become very performative. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a lot meaner if you're just my friend and you're real performative for social media, but you're not like that in person. I'm like, oh, you know what, you got you. Because it's not that they're two different sides, but I feel like people are really willing to take it up several notches that most of the time don't need to be taken up. So if they're let's say they're cool, calm, and collective in person, and then they go to social media and it's like, yeah, XYZ, and it's like, oh, did you need to do all of that? And so but I feel like it's different with love. So with love, it just depends on the extent. Like if they're like, oh, let's I love posting up a flick on a nice Valentine's Day. Like let the
I
girls
was
know.
gonna ask, are you here for that? Like,
I
is
am.
it like PDA still? I don't know.
Wait, posting up a flick, huh?
No, Pride, like a picture.
Oh.
Like, where did you go?
Oh, you know what? Segue back.
It was the
I
way
need you to
everybody
hit
was
the
so
line and
calm
come back
about it.
this
It was
way.
the way everybody was so calm about it. And I was like, oh, I know I heard wrong.
Totally right on back. Totally right on back.
As a single bitch, PDA makes me personally upset, but I love that for y'all. Y'all be in love.
No, but there's a difference between.
Now.
There's a difference between. I think there's a difference between.
Not that bitter leaping out like
You
that.
did that. There's a difference between PDA and like let me display what's happening, because there's a difference. Like I'm not saying you should be eating your man's face off or eating doing all of that on social media, but like if I want to display
That's what you choose to do. Is it kind of like,
yeah, that's kind of what you do. But then what I'm valid to my opinion. However, I'm gonna get this point out. Hold on, I'm gonna get it out. However, I feel like for me, social media has gotten to a point where it's kind of weird if you aren't okay. It's like it's really gotten to a point where it's like, oh, can I post this? And you're like, no. And it's like, oh, why can't I post you? Is there someone that you don't want to see this? It gets real weird.
Right,
It gets real weird when you start trying to put the girls in the closet. It really does.
That's exactly where I was gonna go. Because I sat down and had again an open, honest conversation. Like, look, I expect 0 for Valentine's Day because I honestly don't care about it. But what are your expectations? Oh, I want this. I expected some sort of romantic gesture. I just want you to surprise me. Okay, cool. Say less. Is this gonna be?
Is this your first Valentine's Day together?
Yes. And I'm gonna say, is this something? And then my literal next question was, is this something you want to be social media appropriate? And he was like, yes. And I said, okay, bet. Say less. That's what you want. That's what you're gonna get.
What is y'all's ideal Valentine's Day? Like, if you could have
Ideal?
ideally, what would you love for your Valentine's
Day?
I want to be in chains.
Now, come on, put your face to Pride. Wait.
Wow.
Again, that's a conversation for another podcast.
Come on, 50 deviations of Pride. I'm ready.
My ideal Valentine's Day would involve chains in some way, shape, or manner. But we're not going to get into that.
B, what's your ideal Valentine's Day? Sister King. What's your ideal one?
I think, I don't know. I don't want anything that's super out. Like, oh, you really did it. Like, do not fill my room with roses on this floor. Because I swear to God, if I got to clean up all these roses on my damn floor, it's going to be a problem. But like, I like surprises, but like, I don't like surprises. Like, I'm one of those girls. Like, oh my God, surprising me. Wow. I'm way more complicated. But, just something sweet and thoughtful. Like, it doesn't even have to be a lot. Like, oh, I bought you a star, with the day we met. Yeah, girls do that.
That used to be a thing. I know.
Not you buying me a planet. You did. Oh, come on.
There's a difference between a planet and stuff. You only have a handful of those.
I bought you Neptune. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You find out you got a cheapskate that secretly hates you. You buy you Uranus. Like, wait a minute.
Now, Casey. You did.
That would be a great. That would be a.
Not I bought you Uranus.
But imagine a gay giving that to another gay. Like I bought Uranus.
Not I bought Uranus.
That'd be cute.
It would. Okay, I'm gonna answer and I'm gonna ask Hasten because I want to know. But I want to know what Valentine's Day starts to look like when you start getting into them years, when you start doing the time. But
the way they just be sitting on the couch in sweats, drinking beer.
But
like Valentine's Day,
no, that's for me. I want thoughtfulness. Like I'm not saying I'm also a person that you don't have to get me a bunch of gifts or like surprise me, but I want it to be something thoughtful. Like I just want to be able to sit down at the end of the day and be like, oh, he did that. Like, oh, even if it's like a physical gesture, a gift, like an emotional thing, like, hey, you're validated. But it has to be something that makes me go like, oh, that's my ideal one. Yeah. So, Casey, what's it look like when you start getting in them later years?
The way we be chilling, and I don't know. I'm not gonna say that all married couples just be chilling. For the most part, one, I had to keep in mind Brooklyn's birthday is 2 days later. And as young parents, we weren't balling. Like, you see what I'm saying? So we were usually pretty damn broke because 2 days later we had to say happy birthday. So it wasn't about us
That
at
sounds
all.
real familiar.
Mhm. But little things. He used to always bring some home from work because the way it's always on a weekday, or bring home a bottle of wine, or we just be kicking it. We'll be like, "What you want to eat?" And then we'll just hang out and do nothing and say we did something. But I'm not really a big holiday kind of gal. I think my favorite one, he took me to the shooting range. That's what we did on Valentine's
Not
Day.
y'all shooting.
Oh,
Y'all chose violence on Valentine's Day.
And
They
to
chose
this day,
violence.
that is still my favorite. And then
I
we
got
we
burned
took
by a bullet casing once, and I hate the shooting range.
really. I've only been one,
That
and
casing burnt me right on my
you know,
arm. And I said, "Oh,
because
never
like
again."
it was when social media was like rising and everybody was so damn, oh, we're going here and we're keeping up and going here. And it was just like, oh, hell no, we ain't doing all that. I don't want to do all that. That's a lot for somebody day. We could do this any day. I don't like restaurants on Valentine's Day because they jam
So
packed.
crowded.
It's
Ooh,
real
they
stupid.
Everything that you can do on a
no
regular day is just
Yeah.
ridiculously hard because it's Valentine's
movies,
Day. You know,
restaurants.
the way we just be chilling. So it was like on a very random, because we used to get made fun of, like, y'all need to be more coupley, like whatever, dude. So he was like, you want to go to the shooting range? Hell yeah. Is it open? Let's go. So we did that. And let me tell you, it was empty because everybody else was in love in a restaurant. And we was just in there shooting and playing. And that was it. And that was probably that's like the funnest one I've had. I've had bad Valentine's days, not with him, but just in the dating realm. I guess we could talk about those too.
We could. Does anyone have any Valentine's Day stories that are off the
Or
wall?
bad?
Yeah,
I dated
bad.
a dude
I
that worked
have
at Sports
one.
Authority, and he brought me home stuff from Sports Authority, and he gave me a pair of cleats.
Come on, you better get on the field, sis.
Wait. Was this pre or post your cleat injury at this point?
This was
I feel
I did. That was nope. That was post softball.
the way I would have been like, oh no, you just brought back childhood trauma.
I
don't
have
like it.
trauma. I have trauma.
It was the way that he took the cleats out, because I think these were track shoes, so you could take the cleats out, but then proceeded to give them to me like they weren't cleats. So I'm like, okay, but as soon as you put them on, it's like someone done buttered the floors. You should not have a soul, so you kind of just sliding around like, dude, just give me the cleats. I didn't. It's one of those things where my whole face said it. Because I ended up saying, now what the hell? What did you do? 'Cause
you
you
just
don't
sliding on
fucking
the floor.
But that was the thing. We not together still, as you can see. But it's like, how do you accept bad gifts and not be the bitch in the group? Because nowadays let's keep it real. If you were to respond that way, by social standards, you get cussed out and they'll be like, well, you're ungrateful. But it's like, he got me cleats though and took the cleat out. Am I the asshole for saying what the hell? I
No,
mean,
you're really not. You're
You really are.
I don't think anybody with a shred of common sense would say you're the asshole.
tried to pre-package them like something real though. You really could. I know where you worked, but still, I don't know. You could have got me slides or something. I really, a pair of Shacks would have sufficed. They were cleats. I don't know what to do with that.
B, have you ever had a bad Valentine's Day?
I don't think I've never had a bad one. I don't think. I would say as a comparable moment, I've had a bad kind of romantic moment where it was like, oh, it's my birthday, and our first date happened to be near my birthday, so that was awkward in itself. I'm like, oh, I'm really going through something really happy for me. Like, this is all about this. So he got me a tennis bracelet, and I'm not very much, but
wow.
it was a tennis bracelet that had the price on it and it was on sale. So that was all.
Wow.
Imagine not just taking. It's not even the price as much as it takes a
It's the
very
price,
lazy
yeah.
individual.
To just
for you
not
to
take
know.
anything off.
Or unless he was proud of that $40 he spent.
It was a
Tacky.
it is tacky for one.
I don't
And
care.
I was just like,
That's tacky.
because I'm not really a jewelry person, and I get if you don't know a girl, then you just get jewelry. Your default is jewelry, but I don't know. As a girl, I'm like, don't do that. Don't ever default to jewelry because you don't know if I'm never ever gonna wear it. I don't know where that bracelet is to this day, but
To this day.
I
I'm
don't know
gonna
where
be honest. I'm not a flowers kind of girl. I don't.
I-
I don't dislike them.
you do.
But
That was
and
why I had a bad
they're
Valentine's
that's
Day.
true, but I'm
Who's
not
the
like
money? They're gonna die in 3 days.
That ruins my whole Valentine's Day. Let me tell y'all. Well, this was also Young Love, so it was also very trash. But I was a senior in high school. I had my little high school sweetheart that I was going back and forth with throughout the whole semester, actually the whole school year, right? And it was Valentine's Day. And like I said earlier, my birthday's a week after Valentine's Day, so I thought I was gonna get hit with a double whammy. Like, oh, I got some on Valentine's Day, and I got some for you next week. And I was like, okay. But I waited the entire day because I thought he was gonna give me flowers. And then, 12 came around. I was like, I ain't got my flowers. 3 p.m. came around. I ain't getting no flowers. And then it really became a week of depression when I tell you.
Now,
It started because for the Valentine's Day I was depressed. And to my
You about to
birthday
turn
I was
around over some
sad.
flowers.
It was the principle.
into these holidays with expectations when you're dating or with someone or talking to someone. Do you go in like, oh, it's the week? It is time,
Yes, I would be lying if I say I didn't.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, they very much do.
it's just the
It's
principle.
been us since we can remember. I mean, even as kids, we brought Valentines to school, and
I used to
Yeah.
love that. Them
Yeah, with them
candies.
candies would slap. Ooh.
Child, I used to throw that card any dude with the candy.
Like, here you go, Dean.
Jolly Rancher lollipop. Ooh, they never sold those
Nah.
any other time but Valentine's Day. I missed that so
Here you
much.
go, Dean. Here's your candy. Like, there I go.
I remember my bad Valentine's Day.
What was your Valentine's Day? Not
was,
Valentine's. I did
I
that. What
was
was your
a
bad Valentine's
sophomore.
Day?
I was a sophomore in high school, right? And I had been going out with somebody for about maybe most of the year, right? So the week before Valentine's Day, because I didn't want anything to sell out, and I wanted to make sure I got everything that I could. I went out and bought I went to Walmart and bought the biggest teddy bear I could find. That was like one of those giant ones. It was like $60. I bought that, and then I bought a big ass candy, like a giant, like I want to say Hershey's Kiss or whatever. And then I wrote "Kiss Me" on it and the marker and all of this. And I got a bouquet of flowers. Like all in all, I want to say I spent maybe $150 on everything all in together. And
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's
big for
nice.
sophomore.
show up.
Yes.
I've been working since I was like 12, so it wasn't that big. So I show up at school with all this shit, and I'm walking around all this, and I finally find her, and I give her all the gifts, and then she breaks up. And I'm sad. Y'all want to know what made it worse?
What?
What made it worse is she was recording me while she was doing it.
Wow!
Not her being deep just like that. Does she have like 10 kids and a shitty life at this point? Because I hope she do.
After that, I decided, you know what? Love isn't for me.
Now, not her
well-
being the one who broke your heart.
Well, on that lovely note,
I think it's come out of that was a lot of
that
steps.
was,
for her.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a lot.
On that
Mhm.
lovely note, we're gonna
Right,
slide
I'm
right
so
into.
That we were not closer together because I feel like we would have been best friends in high school. In the way I would have had something for her. I
Not
was
you
a
about to fight. You.
anyway.
There goes altercation. She did that. There she go.
No way, Pride. Just know if I was there,
Mm.
she would have been cackling, but we would have had the
Casey would
last.
have laughed. Casey really would have laughed. Casey would have been like, "Ha!" She really would have.
Uh-huh.
She's saying this from the outside. She would have been like, "Ha ha!" Like, yeah, we're gonna slide right into recommendations. So now that we're here, what do y'all have to recommend for the week? Anything hot, off the market, off the rack?
I have absolutely nothing. I got a bunch of shoes releasing in the upcoming week, but
What
Yeah.
are the shoes? Tell the girls.
the
Oh, they're
Air Grip
probably-
bag. Shout out to Ken Griffey. They look like the '90s, and
Wait,
I've
what
always
were they?
the Air Griffies. Ken Griffey, the baseball player, he had a pair of shoes back in the day. I wasn't allowed to get them because this is when I was still in the world of Payless. You know, it was a rite of passage. Every little girl, unless you were that lucky, you know, we lived in Payless. You know, we didn't get real shoes until we got older. So I didn't get them. But they're
Griffey.
re-releasing. Those are dropping. And I want to
Griffey.
say, yeah, Ken Griffey, the baseball. He played for Seattle
Hey,
Mariners.
say the baseball one more time, like I know about the baseball.
the baseball.
His daddy, Ken Griffey Jr., had a
Ken
great
Griffey
game on the
Jr.,
Super Nintendo.
It's Dean Griffey. Is that
Now,
this
Ken
not it?
Griffey,
Ken Griffey. Oh, this
I thought it was short for something.
you did that.
ah,
Ah,
So them shoes
Wait.
are hot on the market, and you're recommending it to the people. How much do they cost?
I want to say 200 if you got big people feet, but I'm kids Foot Locker, so I think it's like 140 for me.
Okay,
mm.
okay, that's not bad.
Oh, and Little Nightmares 2 comes out
Yay! It comes out on what? It comes out on what, Casey?
12th. It comes out on the 12th.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Well,
Or am I
Okay.
lying? I think it's
isn't it the 24th? I thought it came out on my birthday, but I might be
oh, wait a
wrong.
minute. Let me go gadget Google.
It might be coming out on my birthday, but
The way I knew, and I want to say, okay, yeah, it's the 11th. Ignore
okay,
me.
you were right. I thought it was a
Like-
week. I thought it was a whole week later. I was about to be real late to the party.
Like, let me make sure I'm planning my life correctly before I'm just lying in these streets.
Well,
Okay.
moving on to your other crotchety counterpart, Pride. What do you have to recommend for the week?
Recommendations. My recommendation for this week is to even this being the season of love or the month of love, take care of yourself.
Oh,
My recommendation is
that.
mental health.
oh,
Because
Recommend
this is
some
the most-
self-love, some
this is
some
one of the
self-care.
most- This is one of the most depressing times of the
Mm.
year, because a lot of people get into it real deep about their relationships and their lack thereof or whatever. Just take care of yourself. Be good.
Wow, that was inspiring.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Priscilla?
Dehydration. Oh, me? Okay.
Yes,
well-
You.
Well, I have something to recommend, but in the honor of the disbandment of Iceman coming up on the horizon, I recommend that you stream all of their main titles, Korean and Japanese. You can take a panorama. You could like a Swan, Fiesta. You could Violetta. You could Labian Rose. I just want you to go down the list of bops that they have before they really hang it up, because they about to wrap it up, sis. So that's my recommendation for the week: Dehydration.
Well, mine I technically explored with Pride the other day, so mine is fairly recent. Something that I've been really into. It's this YouTube channel called the Try Channel, which you would think it's a BuzzFeed thing, but it's not. It's
Is it
basically
people get drunk?
Mm-hmm.
the thing I was talking about the other day. So it's basically Irish people doing a series of different alcohol related things and trying them. And it's just so funny because, of course, Irish people have that stereotype that they drink a lot. And they kind of, what's that word? When you see a stereotype, but you go against it, but you do it at the same time. I don't know.
Not you going against the grain, but then going with the grain at the same time.
Yeah, the grain,
I don't think that was a
grain.
lot.
They're going with the grain, I guess, and they're trying all these alcohol. And there's this one girl on there. Her name is Claire. Was it O'Doherty? And she be drinking anything. Sis just be knocking them back.
Listen,
Just like,
I'm just like the way everybody be drinking stuff and looking like they about to die. She'll drink it and be like, it was worse than the last one, but it wasn't that bad. I'm like,
she's
oh wow,
this is
she's
good. She's like, you
like-
don't like it? You okay? Like,
Yeah.
sis be
It'd be a
living.
lot. And then
I
other
love
other people be over there throwing up and stuff. She just like, oh.
Okay, that was
And the way
nice.
she was like, let me take this full shot of this. Anywho, like 'cause we were talking about absinthe the other day and how Pride wants to take absinthe at some point during
I'm
the
not
trip.
doing this with y'all. The answer
I
is
did
no.
not.
I'm ready. I'm real ready. I'm about to
I
turn
said-
around.
No, I said the one thing we can't do is because it won't be me trying to make sure Philip don't jump off a roof.
Wow, I'm not gonna jump off anything.
I think it is. The answer is no.
Exactly.
What do you
No,
mean?
Pride,
It's
to be
not a
fair,
feeling of drunk. It's not what you think it is.
What is it? Explain it. What is it? Let's break it down for a moment. What is it?
Absence is like drinking Everclear, but worse.
I would say Everclear is a lot more chill. Absinthe, it's not even like, oh, I'm drunk, so I pass out and I'm drunk.
It's like,
It might as well be drug based, and it's a
Yeah,
level of
exactly.
euphoria that it's kind of like, are you sure you ready for this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
Euphoria. Define your. Am I just gonna be?
now,
You're gonna be gone.
Go.
Gone.
gone.
Good.
Like
like,
a Monica
is
song.
it like taking ecstasy? Like, so I can
No,
experience
no, it's no. It's nothing like that.
No,
No, nothing like
a
that.
little for the LSD, but
Am I
no.
gonna see holograms?
I don't
No,
know what you
that's
gonna see.
more-
It's
that's more
absent.
acid.
We don't know what you gonna do with
Wait,
it.
so holograms or hallucinations? It's
Hallucination.
hallucinations. I did. Yeah.
Elephants in the room.
Tupac.
said-
I was
He really said
honestly
hologram.
thinking, when it comes to absinthe, I don't know what you gonna do, and
Yeah.
that level of uncertainty is why I'm good.
Because absence doesn't make you hallucinate. Like a lot of people say that's bad press. It's just it makes you really drunk really quickly and to the point where your body reacts violently to how fast you're getting drunk.
We don't know
I
what
don't
is
like
going to do
that.
for you. It could
I
be a
don't
lot.
like
I don't know
that.
what you're gonna do with it, but you gonna do something, and I just don't want to know what that something is. And you have to keep in mind, there's also levels, probably, where you got to think about when you do these things with people, because some
Yeah.
people just be extra,
And
then
I know
they make it a
And that's
thing.
the main reason I
Woo,
said no. I
for
said,
no
"You, it
reason.
won't be
Like,
the
right
same."
now, ain't nothing wrong with you. Woo! Like, as
Yeah.
soon as you do it, they
Yeah.
have you wallet. Like, where is this
Yeah.
coming from?
Yeah,
You ain't digested nothing. Woo!
Nah,
Like, I.
Keep
Well-
that shit not metabolized yet. Calm down.
Well, speaking of digestion, digestion. That's the word. I feel like we have digested a lot of content.
I don't like that we use the verb digest.
It worked though. It worked. We digestion.
I was like, no,
I did. I surely did. We
Not we
digestion.
digest- not
No.
we digest.
We
What?
digest. We digest.
Digesting.
Ooh, English. Yeah. Mhm. So we are
Digest.
digesting. We have a lot of content to digest. So before we get into the quote of the day, would y'all like to tell the collective who you are, where they can find you?
Are we gonna do that before the quote?
Yeah. Tell them before you leave, sis. Go
Okay,
ahead, Cup of
sure.
Noodle.
Mhm.
You're right. Hi, I'm Cup of Noodle, aka Old Dirty Noodle, aka Run CUP. When I'm not here, I said what I said, and I'll say it again. I'm on Twitch. I'm a content creator. I'm on Twitch, YouTube. I host a lot of different conventions and things in these streets. When I'm not doing that, I'm usually here with these folks. I almost said people, but I get in trouble.
Wow.
I said
Wow.
folks. I cleaned it up. See, there's
You
no
did-
winning with
Okay,
y'all.
yeah.
I
We
mean,
can't just
okay.
be amazing people. That's crazy.
Friends is also a word.
That's also
But
yeah.
when you say it like that, that's fake as hell. Anytime someone be like, "Oh, I'm here with all my friends,"
I'm
that's
here with
how I
all
know
my
you-
lovers.
Are we not friends?
No, okay, let me do that. You can say to me, "I'm here with all my friends." That's fair. Because if not, I heard how Pride said,
Yeah, I'm here with these people.
Here
You
we
did
go.
that.
Bringing up
with,
bullshit.
no,
Here
when
we
you
go.
turn me into a superhero and it turns
Here
into I'm
we
the
go.
amazing Spider-Man, that shit fake. I ain't trying.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Oh, such an amazing, loving. The only time I hear I love you from B is when she's doing
She's
something.
doing
for-
something foolish. Oh, foolish.
Yeah.
Foolish.
The only time the love comes out, if B is like passive
She'll punch you in the
aggressive, mad
face.
at me,
I love you.
I can tell when B is mad at me because he'll be like, "All right, y'all, Kason, have a great night. I hope you have a lovely day." Like, oh shit, she mad. Now I don't know why. When do you tell us to have a lovely night unless you don't want us to have a lovely night because you secretly mad? I just hope you have the best week and it's just filled with nothing but admiration and
First
you
of
know
all,
that is
we're
you.
aggressive to each other. It's never just a me thing. You first of all, Case, you do that all the time. Talking about, oh, I hope you guys have a great night.
See, I think
Oh,
you
yeah,
are
you
lovely.
do that. You
Case,
do
you
that.
do it
You
too.
do it too.
Okay, but we was wrapping this up. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Kason.
He was wrapping this up. Mm-hmm.
I'm on the things. Find me. I'll be here.
Dehydration.
I'm thinking
Wow. Well, at this point, I'm dehydration. I am on Twitch. I have a YouTube page. Don't expect a lot of content, but there is some content. And yeah,
Pride Zero, if you're nasty. Zero.
Y'all know me. My name's Pride. Zero if you nasty. 3 instead of an E. I am a content creator. You can catch me on Twitch, YouTube, beingblack.com. Don't put that there.com. And, you know,
Not
all,
don't put
all
that.
and you know all the other sites
Oh.
that you can find.
Pride
content
Zero with a
creation.
3.
Where-
Where is 3?
Okay,
Is it
sorry.
zero? Pride?
PRID 3 and then ZERO. So there's only 1 3. Sorry.
you should be like splitting down the middle like I did with your daughter last night. I think that was
No, moving on. Yep. And for me,
B, can you virtual high five me?
What just happened?
oh
I
no.
missed
That
that
I
completely.
okay, I'm
What
sorry.
just happened? What just happened?
Nothing. B, I wasn't listening slow.
You
Keep going.
know,
Tell me
Wow.
And I am Pac-Man630. You can find me on Twitch along with these other heathens. You can also find me on all the other social medias on Pac-Man630. And Pride, would you like to take us?
Give us that good quote.
Oh.
Oh shit.
This is gonna be bad, yeah.
I want to be your favorite hello and your hardest goodbye. It takes. Let me finish. Damn. I want to be your favorite hello and your hardest goodbye. It takes a relationship to aspire you to be single.
Just hearing you read that, I just know you're wearing Chanel. I just know you're wearing Chanel and you got your hair wrapped up like Audrey Hepburn. All right. What in the Monroe? Who wrote this quote? I didn't hear who's from.
Oh, I have no idea who wrote that quote.
Where did you get the quote from?
I just came across it and it was there, you know.
You did, yeah, you did that, and this was the GG podcast.
Y'all be easy.
Bye.
Bye.